I need to do an introduction, but do I need to do an introduction? I think
don't know.
most of you know Kandi as one of the Atlanta Housewives, but I feel as if like we need to introduce you to who she really is in terms
Thank you.
of how many things she has her hands in and what a long storied career she has had in entrepreneurship, right? So I'm going to just kick us off here. You have a Grammy under your belt.
Yes.
You are a songwriter, a restaurateur, multimedia agency owner,
Yes.
adult toy line owner,
Yeah.
have an apparel line, children's accessories. Just introduce us to all of the things you have your hands in.
Well, I guess, I have a very diversified portfolio, as they say. I'm one of those people, I have these different crazy ideas, and I just like to make them happen. It doesn't matter how crazy the idea is. It doesn't matter how many times people tell me to stay in one lane or whatever. I'm not doing that. I'm just going to say if it's an idea that sticks in my head, I have to see it through. And, so like you said, it's anywhere from, my favorite part is the entertainment part. So music, television production, Broadway production. I'm on my 4th Broadway show as a producer.
Starring Denzel.
Starring Denzel Washington and Jake Gyllenhaal. Othello. We're breaking records already this week. Thank you. But that's my favorite things to do. But I also have other businesses, from clothing stores, restaurants, a cosmetic line, adult products, So yeah, it's pretty.
You also have a mission-driven philanthropy
Yes.
foundation as well.
Yes, I have Kandi Cares, and Kandi Cares is my foundation that I've had over 12 years. And basically, it's all about helping single-parent families, and that's because I myself grew up in a single-parent home. My mom raised 2 kids, as well as my mom's the youngest of 14, and so I have a lot of single parents within my family. But I always say it's all about the village that helps you, right? So I try to be that village for other people, and we do everything from, scholarships to helping, pay for little leagues, for programs for kids, and for adults who want to go back to school who, maybe they are themselves a single parent. So, and, every year for holidays, we do these crazy give backs for, anybody who needs it. And it's not just, I always say, people think that only if you don't have, an income or something that you can go for help. But I don't believe that. I believe that, as we know, the way this economy is set up, even if you have a career, you still may need some sources of a village to help you. So we are there for everybody, really.
So, these are not just like side hustles. These are actually scalable companies. What was the first company that you really realized that you had a taste for entrepreneurship?
Oh, okay. I think, I started out in the music business, signed my first record deal with my group Escape when I was 16. And even though being an entertainer, that's still a business. Our group was a business, and we had some tough lessons that we learned early in life that a lot of people don't have to learn, as a young teenager. So I guess that would be the first business. But the first thing of stepping outside of music, I guess it would have been a clothing store, Tags. And the reason why I did that is because I feel like I wanted something that had nothing to do with music, another business that I knew that, it would provide something that people would want, but it didn't have anything to do with music. I didn't have to be the face of it.
Now, Tags, that's a successful online retail store, and it's grown quite a bit. Tell me in terms of how exactly you were able to kind of find partners and be able to build a structure that was scalable.
I think, I always tell people, every business that I've done, I had to learn on the job. because I didn't go to school for any of those things. Um, so the way I like to do it is to partner with somebody who already has experience in that lane. So my friend, she had already had stores, she had already done retail, but because of different reasons, she no longer was in the business of owning a store. So I kept coming to her and I kept saying, "Hey, why don't we partner up? At the time, I had the financial resources. You have the know-how. Let's put this together and make it happen." And that's how I got going. And what are we, 14 years later?
Your husband is one of the people that you also partner with.
Todd Tucker. Yes, my husband Todd. We have a lot of businesses together, and we have that common thing of we don't feel like we have to have had a background in something in order to decide this is something that we really want to do. It's all about, getting resources, whether it be consultants or different people to kind of guide you if you don't have a background in that lane. So my husband and I, we've done everything. Now, we do have a background in film, television. So we produce movies, which our first movie, The Pass, it was the number one streaming movie on, acquired movie on Peacock during the time of its release. So the only thing that was streaming more than our movie in that first month or whatever was Super Mario Brothers. No, seriously, on Peacock, which was, we couldn't, we're really not supposed to go around and tell people that, but I'm proud of that, because, for a person, for us to do it our first time, to figure it out on our own for the first time, it turned out pretty good. So right now we just finished filming another independent film, and we're about to do another. We're going to go into production on another one next month.
You want to tell us about this?
I can't tell you about that one. The one that we just filmed, though, it's funny. The title is crazy. It's called "Don't Bring Your Man to Atlanta." Oh. It's got a crazy twist. It's a crazy movie, but yeah. But overall, we also have another a docu-series that's under develop now. He and I both are producers on Othello. This is his third, my fourth production on Broadway. We have the restaurants together. We do a lot of stuff together. We are each other's biggest cheerleaders and motivators.
I wanted to take a moment to talk about the restaurants a little bit, right? It's very different than obviously your background in film and television.
For sure.
And there's the restaurant business is notorious for being tough, fickle.
Yes, it's the worst. It's the hardest business I ever had to be a part of.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, tell us your lessons learned in terms of that business. Obviously, right now, there are ones that you're struggling with. Give us the details regarding the specific reasons why you are struggling with the businesses that you are in the restaurant industry.
Okay, and I'm always open to share, the highs and lows of different businesses that I've been a part of. Because like I said, I'm one of those people that's figuring it out, and I know so many other people are also figuring it out. So with the restaurant business, what I will say, we started off with our Old Lady Gang brand, which a lot of people saw us, develop that on TV. So we had so much support. So many, the lines down the building and all of that. But when you have that type of support, it's in a restaurant, it can also bring you a lot of different things. It can overwhelm your kitchen. You got to learn about how to pace things, and then people are mad. Your reviews are crazy, and then it goes back and forth. But in the first, few years of the restaurants of Old Lady Gang, it was great. Things were going well. But then the pandemic hit. And I know for a lot of business owners, it was hard to keep employees. It's and when that happens and you still have traffic coming in, It was like, okay, now your levels of service is not getting where it needs to be. Um, it's hard to keep people, the good people that you want to keep. They're always taking them from you because it was just a lack of good people in that industry. So then it's like a plethora of reviews that hit you on that end as well. So I think that was a lot of the things that we suffered with, because even when we do get it right, me being a public figure, it's like we have some people that just come at us just because we're public figures. So it's like then you got that coming at you too. So it's always been that crazy trying to make a balance with Old Lady Gang because it's so public. But then with the other restaurant, Blaze, we opened it during the pandemic. So it started with drama and just difficulties. But, everything was still running smoothly. And I know everybody's probably wondering, my name showed up in a lawsuit last year. Price of doing business, y'all. Price of doing business. I mean, it's just real simple things. It's just we having a disagreement. You never, and that's another thing I had to learn in business. Owning buildings versus leasing. It's like, we own some of our other properties that we have restaurant, but, leasing one, it's like, then we had a situation where, the owners, they had a issue with the building between us and our neighbor. And so then it's like, okay, we got to shut you down until we finish this issue. And that took months, but that affected our business. So we've been going back and forth about that. So anybody that's, had a business and, you're going back and forth with the landlords, it can become a bit much. And so now it's turning into a public thing, but it is what it is. We have to stand on business until we figure out, you want to say that we're responsible for things that we aren't responsible for, and so we going to stand on it.
You talked about how you had very different experiences with Old Lady Gang and Blaze. And can you, when you think back, was it the pandemic? Was it outside factors in which that contributed to why you had success on one and not the other? Or
I think it was multiple reasons. Obviously, well, we had support and all from our fans, right? But I think it was doing a different type of restaurant concept that really was the issue, because my whole goal has been to try to bring more opportunity, more jobs in areas of, people of color. You know what I mean? Because a lot of those areas don't have the businesses that bring good jobs, bring, good resources to the area. So with that being said, a lot of the business, we place them purposely in those areas. But at the same time, doing a Old Lady Gang, which is more about comfort and soul food and more affordable prices, versus a high, more expensive concept like a steak restaurant, you're already going to deal with your issues on that level. You know what I mean? So I think that in starting, like I said, during the pandemic, it started it where it was more of a heavier lift. Not that it wasn't doing anything, because we definitely had customers or whatever, but it just wasn't the same as Old Lady Gang.
I definitely feel like you are an overachiever, though, in that way. So it must have frustrated you. It's almost as if, honestly, you are a master at taking trending ideas and turning them into businesses.
Yeah, I guess. But it's funny because I don't always look at it as trending ideas. So for instance, if we talk about bedroom candy, which is my adult products line, y'all. When I first did bedroom candy, it was not popular to do for a mainstream person to be the face of an adult toy brand. Back then when we first started bedroom candy, what was that, 12 years ago? 12? Yeah, 12 years ago. it was more of a still a hush hush thing for some people. Like they didn't want everybody to know that they went to the toy store to get their products or whatever. But I wanted to kind of normalize, self care, self pleasure, all of those things, because it shouldn't be anything that you have to be ashamed of. So I was just like, you know what, this is what we're doing. And I feel like I helped normalize it for a lot of people. And after that, you started seeing more people who weren't necessarily not adult stars being owners of adult products or intimacy lines.
And now we're seeing all types of other brands coming out with self-care, wellness.
Yeah.
And all of this is kind of like tied together in terms of being able to normalize conversations, right, in that way.
Yeah, which I think is a great thing because, I think part of the problem with society is that, we try to make everything so, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. when a lot of people are doing different things in closed doors, you know what I mean? And if it's, not to say that you have to broadcast everything that you do, but you don't have to look down upon other people, their choices or lifestyle or anything, And I'm quick to tell people, to me, adult products is more for women than anybody because simply there's a high percentage of women who've never even experienced a orgasm from penetration. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on your camera.
We're okay. I
Bleep
don't think
me.
we're streaming live.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was trying to figure out how to word it without saying it. But, no, it's a huge percentage of women who've never had that experience. And I think that's part of us not knowing our own bodies, not knowing, being scared to explore our own bodies so that we can't tell our partners, this is what we like, this is what we need, and being afraid to even express ourselves. It's always been a known thing to just please the other person instead of, we're both walking away pleased. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, not to go all into that, but I felt it was important to do that business because it was something that I liked, and I know a lot of other people liked it. And I was like, you know what? I don't really have much competition in this lane, so let me go ahead. No, but we won awards for our products at Bedroom Kandi. I don't know if I might be one of the only people that has a Grammy and multiple X-Biz awards.
This is very
I don't know.
I mean, talk about the tie-in of maintaining your personal brand in all the businesses that you've been able to stand up. Tell me a little bit about that and how your personal brand is infused a little bit into each of those businesses.
My personal brand is definitely infused into pretty much all of my businesses. I definitely feel like being on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, it gave me a platform to pretty much show people who I was. Show people that I'm a stand-up person. I'm an honest person. I'm about things of quality. I'm about, promoting other people and uplifting other people. And I think that has helped me in business because, people have wanted to support the things I do or at least want to be aware of what I'm doing because of how I carried myself. And I just think I'm the same way in business. Y'all know on the show I'm always a facts and receipts person. I'm that way in real life. So anytime there's even, I rarely have a disagreement with people in business because I'm always trying to do business with integrity and on point. If I do have a disagreement with anybody in business, it's a reason why. But I'm always open to correct my mistakes if I have made a mistake with anybody in business. So I always have good relationships with the people that I work with. And, I pretty much feel like in any situation, I have long-standing business relationships. And I'm open to new ideas, new people. I love social media. Like, I met a lot of people that I've worked with through social media. Just Don Juan even. And Don Juan and I guess we've been working together longer than social media, but he was around since, what was that website? MySpace, okay? So 20, 22 years we worked together. But yeah, I'm definitely, I feel like my personal brand kind of speaks for my other businesses. I support every business that I have wholeheartedly. I think some people, especially public figures, they'll put their name on something, but they don't really promote it, be there for it, talk, eh. I don't, want to speak on other people, but for me, I'm like, okay, well, what can we do to make this great? Or who can we collaborate with? How do I continue to grow?
Has that been kind of the key towards how you've been able to build all of this out partially? How much of your marketing is geared towards your social platforms, and then the other part of it, the partnerships that you've been developing?
Yes. I feel like it's part of my social marketing, and then the other part is, me getting out there and really like old school music marketing. We used to do the going into all the smaller markets and really touch the people, see the people, and talk about our music. So I try to take that same mentality into the other businesses that I'm a part of, especially like even with the Broadway. So the way that we promote our shows is a lot different than other Broadway shows have been promoted in the past. So that would explain for me why, for instance, the piano lesson, 70% of our ticket buyers were people who had saw a Broadway show for the first time. They weren't just your normal people who are in New York, who are part of that Broadway life going to see a show. We brought people from far and wide to come to the show, and they specifically came to New York to see the show. It wasn't the opposite where a lot of shows is, oh, I'm in New York, maybe I'll catch a show. No, for a lot of the shows that I'm a part of and that I try to promote and get behind, they come to New York for our show and just enjoy New York after.
Yeah, so like that's part of your businesses are interesting because of the fact that they are diversified in interesting ways, right? They cross platforms and cross promote. Talk a little bit about your creative agency and exactly that concept, right? You have that creative agency has podcasts. It goes all into theater, into the film world.
Kandi Coded Entertainment. So Kandi Coded Entertainment is my entertainment company, but it's kind of like the blanket umbrella of from everything we do, whether it's on the stage, on television, virtually. We have all these different lanes that we try to be a part of, and we try to keep, our eyes on what's happening, what's next, like stay current. I've been in the entertainment business for over 30 years. Wow. And the only way you could do that is if you consistently, stay on trend or ahead of the trends, you know what I mean? And not staying in a box and sticking in one lane. I'm constantly trying to reinvent myself, working on what's next. I always tell people while I'm in my current move, I'm already working on the next move. I'm always trying to figure out, what is the next thing I want to be a part of. But Kandi Coded Entertainment, we just found a lot of success by, whether it's, just things that I'm doing myself or partnership and not always thinking of everything as a financial success moment. Sometimes people are only driven by the money. I am not. I'm trying to think about what's going to be bigger or better for me and my team.
How much of a hand do you have in those, like developing the creative in Kandi Coded Entertainment?
Well, it depends on what it is, if it's anything that we do, say for instance virtually, I'm pretty much coming up with everything, or Todd, Now, Todd is one of the, I always tell him, he's like, you don't want to sit here when I'm coming up with the movie concepts. And I was like, because you don't listen to my ideas. and I don't even want to argue with you. So he says, so if it's something that I have an idea for, then I'll take the lead. And if he had the idea first, then he'll take the lead. But like, say for instance, on the Broadway productions, I always say I got to give love to Brian Moreland. He has been like a mentor to me in that business. And a lot of times he'll come to me with ideas to be like, okay, this is what I'm thinking the project we should do next. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I like that. Let's dope. Let's go for it. Right now, I have an idea that I really want to see happen. So he's like, okay, well, if you can get the people on board, let's see. So right now, I'm trying to figure out if I can make it happen.
When you touched upon it, I saw the whole audience be like, how do you stay ahead of trends? Like, how do you forecast that? And how do you actually build out your business around that?
Well, I don't know. I think it's kind of like a natural thing because I just go with what I like. But I will say, for me, when I'm looking at, like, say for instance, we all like social media or whatever. I'm really into the people who only have 50,000 followers or 100,000 followers, or even if they have 10,000, if they have a loyal following and they are just dope. Those are the people that I like, that I want to collaborate with, because to me, all the people who got millions of followers, sometimes they're not as easy to work with. Sometimes they think they already made it and they already doing it, and they're just it's the ones that are up and coming who you're like, okay, they got fresh energy, they're on to something. Those are the people that I gain inspiration from or want to be partnered with or whatever. And I don't even look at, oh, I got more followers than you, so I'm not going to do something with. No. To me, if I feel like you're going hard for whatever it is you're going for, and you got those people that are following you are really loyal to you and support you, I'm like, okay, we on the same wave. Let's do it.
See, what did I say? Master of staying ahead of trends. Now, of course, I'm going to ask that question. The new season of Atlanta Housewives premiered last night.
Yeah.
Curious of whether or not you have any gauge on whether your investors are worried about the fact that you are leaving the show.
Oh, no. Not at all. Nobody was even, when I made the decision to leave, like, the people around me were like, oh, that was the best decision. You did the best thing. It's time for you to take things to the next level, And a lot of people around me were feeling like, for where I'm trying to go, it's not really helping me. I mean, I've been there. I was there for 14 seasons. So I feel like, I did my job.
And I did it well.
Thank you. And I totally support them. Like Shamia, that's my homegirl. Like, we are together all the time. I'm giving her advice. Okay, this is what you do. Don't do this. Oh, for this scene, you should do that. Like, I was giving her advice the whole time she was taping, and so I'm happy for her. And I want people to watch it, but I don't feel like for me right now in my life is not where I'm what I need to be doing. Like, I'm really trying to take things to the next level as an actress. And, continue to produce projects as well. So, being on the show, it's not really going to help what I'm doing right now, what I'm trying to do. Because when I was there on that last season, for people who watched, everybody was complaining that I was gone working, whether it be doing shows with Escape or, filming something. They were like, why does she get to be gone? And I'm like, okay, you know what? I can't.
So what's next?
What's next? Like I said, we're filming another movie. Right now, Othello just started, so we're really in the grind of pushing Othello, which, I mean, a lot of people like, girl, what you got? You don't got to do nothing. You got Denzel and Jake Gyllenhaal. But people don't understand. You still have to. That's the thing. I think that's another key, too. I think people rest in their current success, right? People think, oh, I'm hot, or oh, I'm popping, so I don't really have to do much. Like they think the people are just gonna come. It does not work like that. I could show you a million projects where it had, or concerts or whatever, where it had all these big name people and nobody showed up, and you like, why? Because nobody was out there doing the work to let the people know this show is happening. It's for you. Come to it. Do this, and I don't mind doing the work. Okay, so that's what I'm on right now. Really promoting Othello, continuing to do acting. My group Escape, we have multiple shows that are lined up. And, getting my daughter, Riley, she has some big things coming up this year. So helping set her up for success. My little ones, make sure they're happy and living their best life. We trying to, I think the other part, I'm really trying to enjoy life this year. So I already had multiple vacations already planned. I already did a couple. I got some more coming.
Still busy even when you're not.
Yeah, but I think I told you this before, I'm also trying to streamline, some of the businesses. So I appreciate every business that I've been a part of, but I do want to kind of streamline some things so that I can have more time for myself and more time for fun.
Good.
So that too.
And on that note, thank you, Kandi, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. I know. It is hot.
I feel like, how you have that, like when you take what's the glass, the magnifying glass, it like puts that thing on fire. That's what I feel right now.